But the thing is like most of this movie is like John Candy, like just being like funny and like goofy things kind of happening, which is like fair.
But like, I mean, isn't that the whole like point? Like he's the goofy
course.
uncle. Like, you know what I mean? Like obviously goofy situations are going to happen, right?
The Soundscape Sessions.
No, but you don't. Would you just let me get. You're not. Give me a. Oh.
Welcome back to another episode of the Soundscape Sessions. I am Travis, joined once again by my co-host Adam.
Travis, if you so much as scowl at this podcast, I'm coming for you. And by the way, here's a quarter. I don't have a quarter. When you gnaw that thing, get a rat to gnaw. I fucked it up.
You totally fucked it up.
Get a rat to gnaw that thing off your face, Travis.
There you go. There it is.
Malcolm.
Hey.
Sorry.
I'm also joined by my other co-host, Malcolm. What's
That's
up, buddy?
Me. Hi.
That is you.
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing just fantastic, you know?
No one ever asks the host that, you know? They're always like, oh, hey, how are you?
It's actually so true. And you know what? You were such a saint for doing that.
Well, he knows
I
because he's already a host of another show. So
I know what it's like.
Right?
Oblivious to anybody's feelings.
We'll promote you. You'll get your own show one day.
No. My ego doesn't need that. Not yet, at least in my career.
Today we were talking about the John Candy movie, John Hughes movie, Uncle Buck.
I'm your Uncle Buck.
Which, I don't know, I fucking love this movie. And I'm really excited about this episode because Malcolm has never seen it. And Malcolm actually had never heard of it when I mentioned that I wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And yeah, I'm like, I'm not sure if like you liked it or you didn't. But my hope is that you enjoyed it, but I don't know. I think
I heard him crack up a few times.
I'm going to take like a rough guess. I'm going to say like if Malcolm had to like rate it out of 100, he would give it like a 65.
I would say he would give it like a 76.
Okay.
I think he high 70s. I think he likes it.
Okay, so I mean, big question. Did you like it?
Oh my God. It's my chance. This is my spotlight right now.
Well, we should do the fan versus critic thing, but we can do that later.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Well, I mean, did I like this movie? I enjoyed watching it. I think okay, if out of 100, probably closer to Travis's rating. I don't think this is a high 70s movie for me.
I was hopeful.
Okay.
You know what, Adam? I was hopeful too. The movie,
so was I.
The movie started off like really strong. I thought I really liked the scene in the beginning with Tia and Miles and Maisie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Maisie.
And I just thought that did a really good job setting up the whole movie and just like kind of explaining like the kid's perspective, absent parents, moved to a new city. And then even like the dinner scene I thought was like really good, especially like the back and forth with like Tia and her mom. And Tia's mom goes, "We're all just a little tired of the act." And like Tia has this look on her face of just like, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, so like there's something going on here.
Some tension there.
Yeah, there's like some drama, some inter-family like dynamics, and then the movie kind of just went on with John Candy being a goofball for like an hour, which was entertaining.
I'm
but
fine with that. I'm okay with that.
And there's
he's a goofball, but he's not.
No. John Candy definitely plays a role in this movie. Like him and Tia are kind of like, they're both sort of like outsiders in the family, and they're like troublemakers, and they're at odds, but it's also because they're kind of like similar as well. So there's like a little bit of some underlying theme and some like good writing there. But the thing is like most of this movie is like John Candy like just being like funny and like goofy things kind of happening, which is like fair.
But like, I mean, isn't that the whole like point? Like he's the goofy
course.
uncle. Like, you know what I mean? Like obviously goofy situations are going to happen, right?
Of course. But then they just kind of happen to work out in the end, and like you know, like there's like kind of a moment later in the movie where, you know, he's at a down point. Tia kind of like shot him in the foot with Shanice, and he's at a low point, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go to the track tomorrow, and everything's all right. And it's kind of like there's been this like hinting at this dark side of Uncle Buck's characters, like what's wrong with him, like what's he doing that's so nefarious or whatever. Like at the bowling alley, the guy comes up to him and he's like, oh, I got a score for you. It's like, so is this guy a criminal? Like what's going on?
Well, we already met Pal before that.
Yeah,
Pal is not my favorite. So
well, I mean, I don't think he was Buck's favorite either. I think
he's anybody's favorite.
I got a cure for that.
But like, just to like before we actually like get into the whole movie, because I was gonna say like at the beginning of the movie, you know. Okay, I understand the fact that, like, clearly your sister-in-law doesn't really like you that much.
Yeah.
And, you know, you find out that he hasn't been to the house, like, at all, really.
Hasn't been invited at all.
Right? So, you know, I can see why he's kind of, like, upset about that. I mean, he doesn't seem to be upset about it, but I could see why he would be... Like, he doesn't seem to be upset about it, but like I could see how he's like hiding that underneath, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also he doesn't even know the kids' names. It's like these are
exactly.
okay, it's like you know, I understand that you haven't seen the kids that much, but they are your fucking nephews and nieces. You should probably care enough about them to know what their
for sure
about what their names are. So I give you that. Like, you know, he kind of starts off as this like
outsider,
blundering idiot. Well, and also too, like that's another thing that I find funny though, is he's clearly a city man, and going to suburbia is not his thing. And I don't want to say that he's like nervous to be there, but he's definitely like a fish out of water kind of thing. You know?
He's out of his comfort zone for sure.
Absolutely.
There's some things that are just pretty out there, just like. You leave some water out? Yeah, I left the toilet seats open.
Right?
Like,
oh my god! So
brother,
the blue water. That's okay. That would explain the discoloration on the grass there.
And then she's just like losing her mind. But you know what? There's another thing about the mother. She's certainly trying her best, despite all the shit.
I would be nervous as fuck too.
She's trying her super best to hold it down and not like lose it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying though, where. By the end of the movie, like you can tell that he really cares about these kids, and
no, for sure. And like throughout the movie, there's like lots of like he shows that he's an outsider and he doesn't know their names, but he's trying. You know, like that's what he's doing the entire movie. He's like trying really hard to like be there for the kids and like even Tia, right? But like but he still like has his like flaws.
Well, but here's the thing though, dude. You're just like. You know, every parent who raises a child has flaws, right? So just to dive into it and expect that you're gonna like know how to raise, especially the age range, right? Like Tia's a 15, and the other kids look like they're like 5 and 6. Like, it's such a big difference.
It's a pretty damn big difference, isn't it?
And it kind of makes sense why like the younger kids, they actually get Uncle Buck and they like Uncle Buck because you know they're young kids and. But I mean, I gotta say, like,
Uncle Buck's not really budging on that. Like, he's not really trying to, like, you know.
No, not at all. But I mean,
friends or whatever. He's trying to be a good uncle, but
he's trying to be the adult.
Yeah,
he's trying to be the adult. But I mean, I think, Tia does kind of give him some shit. Like,
of course, but like
right
he also like it doesn't really help his case at all by making life really difficult for her as well, right? You see, here's the thing with like Tia, right? Like they make it very clear in the beginning that like her parents are absent, right? Like, and she's kind of like taking care of like the other two children. Like they're at like what, breakfast in the beginning?
Yes.
They're like getting ready to go to school. So she's the one who's taking care of her siblings, right? Because her parents are fucking gone.
It's probably something that happens often too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so Tia
on the daily.
So Tia is the caretaker, and now you have Uncle Buck coming in, like assuming this responsibility that like Tia has, and then also kind of like parenting Tia, which isn't something she's used to. And he's also kind of parenting her. He's treating like her like the other two kids, like a child, right?
There's two different types of child here.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Tia has had to grow up
a good point.
A little bit earlier and be the adult.
Do it by herself
because
too.
like the two parents kind of strike me as like, very career oriented. They're very like,
that's why they moved.
Right, exactly. And they're kind of the parents that put their career first before their children. And I think that goes back to what you were saying before, like, we're all sick of the act.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so are we, like,
exactly.
What I mean? When are you done with work? And, like, when are you going to be a fucking parent again?
100%.
You know what I mean? Because she even makes the comment about, like, the meal, right?
Yeah.
What a wonderful meal, Mother. How do you find the time?
This is such a wonderful dinner, Mother. How do you find the time?
And it's just
She's
like...
just like asking
it's
for it.
takeout.
She's
Right,
looking-
but it's
she's
takeout,
looking
like,
for
yeah.
it. Yeah.
She's picking fights. I mean, rightfully so,
Right?
though, right?
Super picking fights.
And then, I mean, the best part is like, how was hockey? Hockey's been over for 2 weeks. And then,
Yeah.
oh, well, I guess you don't want a hockey stick for your birthday. And then Tia just is like,
Yeah.
Okay, but can we just like give it up to the father? Like he's trying his
he's
best.
trying.
And he's like trying to like.
But
what
he
about
also,
Buck? Without the
he's-
father,
He's trying, but...
He's not really trying too
He's
hard.
obviously,
but...
like, he strikes me as a career-driven man. Like,
I mean,
Is
Tia
it-
even says, what does she say? Men grow up to be shadows.
they're
Yeah.
exactly right. We need men
So-
to have babies and then grow up to be shadows.
It was the father's father that had a heart attack, or the
Mother's
Okay,
father.
true. Rough.
Also, fucking the actress who plays Tia, her name is Louisa Kelly, and it's actually funny because she plays Kim. And Malcolm, I know you have no idea what the hell this is going to be, but you know that Yes to Your show I'm always talking about with you? Yeah, she plays Kim on it. Yeah.
I've seen her in something else too, but I forget what it was.
Okay.
But it might have been another like kind of movie like in this. Wait, is she in Ferris Bueller's Day Off as a sister?
No.
Okay.
No, she looks like her, but no. No, she's in Yes to Your. But yeah, every time I see this movie now, I'm just like, Kim, what's up? But yeah, no, it's also funny too because... what's it called? So the lunch scene where Macaulay Culkin like fucking takes out like the lunch and then
Yeah.
would anybody want to talk about like a possible lunch trade?
Would you like to talk about a possible lunch trade?
They actually filmed a lot more scenes of that.
Oh.
And there was a whole like subplot to it because you hear at the beginning of the movie Macaulay Culkin like he says like I got chased home by bullies or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a whole subplot that never got like put in the movie. Also, to this movie, I'm not sure if you got this in your facts, but the actual like director's cut, what like John Hughes wanted to do, is almost an hour longer.
Oh,
than
wow.
The actual
Oh wow.
movie. So I would love to see that one day. I wonder if it exists where you could watch that because I would love to watch it.
The director's cut of Uncle Buck,
Yeah,
John Hughes version.
So, anyways, yeah, there's this whole like subplot where like he wasn't very popular in school and he was having a hard time in school, and in the movie it's portrayed like it's this really bad thing, but in the actual subplot they had all these different scenes where he brought all these different lunches to school. Like one day he had like a bag of ribs and like all this like different stuff, and it turned into like where the kids at school got like super curious every single day about what like Uncle Buck was gonna pack him for lunch, and then it ended up like getting him popular and he had friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like
actually
this
kinda cool.
I feel like this director's cut like would have like a lot more heart than like
Yeah.
the actual movie does.
And the movie already has like a bunch of heart too, right?
I mean, I think it does. I mean, it does. I could
director's
argue like, your first watch, you don't think so much, but
Well, I mean, I think
Oh, well.
there's definitely a lot of heart there. I just think the kind of goofy hijinks of like John Candy being funny sort of like get in the way of like the more dramatic themes that are like going
Okay,
on.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think for me that was really what did it. It's just like they set something up and then they didn't really deliver on that, but it's also not that kind of movie. So that's fair. But like I think the setup like really helped me buy in to the movie. Like I probably wouldn't have liked the movie if they didn't build this whole thing with the family and Tia and her mom. And like I can understand why they didn't include the Macaulay Culkin subplot, because it definitely, as funny as it is, and like I can definitely see how it adds a little bit of like heart. It's like, oh, like he's helping his like nephew become popular at school unintentionally just by his eccentricity, but it also definitely takes the tension away from like the stars, which is Tia
Yeah,
and Uncle Buck,
100%,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Macaulay, he honestly just steals it. Like, not steals the show, but every time you see him, man, he kills at every scene.
I mean, for me, he was funnier than John Candy.
Yeah, well,
okay,
let's take it easy.
It's an argument. Yeah. Okay, go. Them fighting words. No, but like I can honestly see like this movie came out in '89, year I was born, and God. It's just I can really see why he wanted to use Macaulay Culkin 2 years later in Home Alone.
For sure.
Because the kid is hilarious. Like, he's really funny. And
definitely can hold his own in a whole movie.
Well, I mean, just that very fact that, like, Malcolm says, oh, I thought he was funny in John Candy. It's like, do you know how funny it is to be 6 years old?
Yeah.
And for someone to say that about you, going up against someone like fucking John Candy,
ignorantly he said it.
Like
but
that's pretty good. No, but like,
Culkin's hilarious.
But you know what's so funny? Like I guarantee you that like if John Candy was around, and I'm not sure if the videos exist, but I'm sure that he spoke super highly of Macaulay Culkin and thought
absolutely had to have.
He probably would have been like, yeah, he was funnier than me. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, that scene with like Miles and like Uncle Buck where they basically explain Uncle Buck's character in like 30 seconds is like hilarious, but also like really good, like really integral to like the plot of the movie. It's just like, okay, we know Uncle Buck, like he doesn't have a job and he's not the first person they would call in a scenario like this, but like what else is Uncle Buck going on in his life? And then fucking Miles quick fires him like, what was it, like 30 questions or something?
Right, exactly.
Well, the record's 38, but but even like right at the beginning of the movie, like Tia's already pissed off, and then she's just like, well, because mother figure wants us to like move from Indianapolis to Chicago. So like he's just already explaining like everything you need to figure out in like 2 seconds. And then by the time the Uncle Buck gets around, you already know what's going on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
True, yeah.
But just like Uncle Buck's like backstory too, right? Like who he is and like his problem with like Shanice, and like he's just like, do you have kids? Long story. And then we kind of see that develop in the movie, right?
Right.
I was going to try and do that for the intro, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to pull it off.
Okay. I mean, I really like the scene.
No way.
Like going back to that too. Like I like the scene where he's like he's obviously drunk, but he's like drinking beers with the dog, and he says that thing where it's just like, people used to say like, oh, you Buck, you got no wife, you got no kids, you got it made, and I did. But you know what the problem is? Nobody says that anymore, and it's just like, so he's like coming to his own like realization that like, yo, maybe my life isn't so great, just going from fucking horse race to horse race kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Even though I mean the clapper was pretty cool, turning on Wrigley Stadium and shit. That was pretty
sometimes
sweet.
Like just an animal understands, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think just kind of like to key on the like he's saying like, oh, Buck, you had it made, and now no one says that anymore. I think there's a theme of like John Candy's character being a child still and needing to grow up. And that is kind of like contrasted by Tia's character, who is a child and had to grow up.
And
was forced to grow up. Yeah.
But she also acts like she's super grown up when she isn't. Like, you know what I mean?
And like he acts super childish
when he's grown up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
No, I like exactly, which is why they're like, I think they have really good chemistry together, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's a fact about it later.
Just like going quickly back to the scene where I was talking about when he's drinking with the dog, like,
there you go. There you go. Little for you, little for me.
Why was that a common trope in like 80s, 90s movies where you would give a dog beer? Because I've seen that in like multiple movies.
Yeah.
Like, why was that like a thing? Don't give your dog
hound,
beer.
Right?
I
Booze
guess,
hound,
but
there you go.
it's just like how many fucking dogs,
I
had
don't know,
to go to the vet because there were so many silly owners who were just
Well-
like, well, I saw it in the John Candy movie, so have a beer.
I'm depressed and I'm drunk and my family left me and I only have my dog to drink with, so I'll give him beer.
Well, in Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger does it with a reindeer. So
Yeah, that's true.
if you want to do the super manly version of it, do the Jingle All the Way version.
You go
with a
reindeer.
Fucking reindeer.
You want to give an animal beer that could actually kill you.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it tried to. I know we're not talking about that movie, but it tried to.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna like just go off on.
No, we're not talking about that.
So
please don't talk about Jingle All the Way.
One thing I thought that was funny when I was doing like my research for the movie is I always watched this movie, and the reason why I wanted to do it before spring came is because it reminds me of winter. It's just a cold movie.
Chicago.
Every time you're outside, just cold as shit. You see the cold fucking. You see in Toronto too all the time when it's cold outside, the fog or whatever.
It's cold outside.
It's cold outside.
The lake effect.
But what's so crazy is it was actually filmed in January of 1988, I believe.
Okay.
And no, I don't actually. I think it was filmed in January of '89. Anyways, it came out in August.
Ooh.
Does not seem like a summer release.
No.
Yeah, no, that's kind of odd.
That is pretty odd.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Like, I was
like
expecting
the
to see like
days of August.
I was expecting to see like February or March or something like that.
March break, maybe like April, like beginning of April, but
right. It's like if I went and saw that in August, I'd be like, "Fuck, God, I feel so depressed now. I know it's on my way."
Reminding me what's gonna happen soon.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like your goofy, wacky kind of like John Candy, like slapstick sort of movie, which that's like a summer blockbuster kind of movie, right?
Yeah,
so
right. You're not
especially at the time, right?
Yeah,
John Candy was a big deal. John Candy was really hot, man, back then.
For some reason.
It's so funny you just said. It's so funny you said.
Poking the bear.
Don't
poking the
you
bear.
Fucking dare.
It's funny you said big deal because in my notes I have. I went to the horse track when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't no big deal.
I worked at the horse track.
That's where kids should be, right? At the horse track.
You worked at the horse track when you were like 18. I'm talking like
I was still a kid, kind of.
Like I went to the horse because my dad used to work for a horse track, but like
that's a little different.
Like I guess, but like we would go like on like some nights. It was actually like pretty dope because we would like go on the patio and have like dinner and shit, and I actually like didn't mind like going and looking at all the horses and shit and watching them run around the track. I mean, the only shitty thing is when you're that young and you have to wait like 20-25 minutes between each race, you're just like, what the fuck takes so long? Like let's just do this. Because I just remember going for like dinner and like that's it. Like my dad didn't take us to the fucking horse races like for the whole night or anything.
I understand.
And like my mom was there too, but like we would go for a couple hours, but like literally in like 2 hours you only see like I don't know, maybe 4 races because like it just
you gotta set up.
They gotta do the race. They gotta set up again,
around,
like all the shit. Walk around, take in all the bets, all the shit. So it takes so long.
It's such an event,
Absolutely, and I just like always like saw like you couldn't see into the casino. You could just see the security guards like standing around it, and I was just like, what does it look like in there? I was just, you know what I mean? But like fucking, and then you go in when you're 18, because I did for my 18th birthday. I went to the casino because I was like, hey, you can go bingo or you can go the casino. So we went to the casino, and I was like, wow, it's really loud in here. This sucks.
Kind of smells like
but like casinos kind of like if you're a kid, you're looking around, you're seeing all like the lights and shit. It probably looks like an arcade or something.
Well, I mean, it kind
really
of is like an adult arcade.
Loud,
I guess you could argue, right?
Yeah.
Like
you get prizes or you lose your quarters and stuff on a bigger scale.
But never been my thing. Like I never got hooked on the whole casino thing.
Gambling? Never been a gambler?
No, not really.
I like gambling, but like
says the guy who won't bet unless there's money on the table.
That's how I gamble,
exactly
like
true.
Little shit like that. Like I'm not gonna go to the casino and
if I'm gonna gamble, I'm gonna gamble.
Yeah, so,
like make it worth my. If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose. Make sure it's gonna be a story to tell.
That was like another point in the movie though too, where he's like literally he's like taking the kids to the horse track, where he's like cheating.
Saying.
He had him in a car,
and he's like. She's old. He's like bitching about Tia being like, she's old enough to know better. And he kind of has that moment where he's like, oh my God, I'm old enough to know better.
Yeah.
I
what
get
am I
it,
doing?
But it's like, you didn't even have to take the kids in, right? You leave them in the car, you go, you show your face, you place your bet, and you sit in the car.
Are you seriously
leave the windows
defending
cracked?
this?
It's cold. You're not going to burn up.
I mean, this is how this guy makes his living. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, and
like,
what a great way to make a living.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But like,
I'm sure that would work really well with Shanice.
It's not
and everybody.
illegal to bring a kid to a racetrack.
So don't go when you're supposed to be taking care of the children.
No, but I'm saying it's not illegal, so you can take them if that's how you gotta make your nut.
This is how you gotta make your nut. You gotta friggin' bet on the ponies.
Maybe you should get a real job, John Candy.
I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying. But he didn't
you
have
low
to go
life.
inside.
Why, you low life? You never touched this stuff?
I'm sitting here going I would have done it.
Oh my god!
No, I'm just.
You
kidding.
just sound like somebody who wants to go to the horse races right now. To be honest.
You guys want to bet on the ponies?
Nah.
No, honestly, I
don't even know what the numbers mean, man. All I know is that they kind of have decimals in the middle, and I'm not even trying.
I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit, but I mean, I get it. They're young kids. It's not a place for them to be, but
especially because he's he's cheating too, right? He's
fixing
the
that's
horse
the big
race.
Yeah, but they don't
thing.
know. Okay, first of all, they don't know that. And granted, there are worse places you could take.
And
you could take your kid to a fucking bar. That'd be a lot worse than a horse.
How do you cheat a horse race beyond
racetrack.
fucking drugging a horse or
well, that's what
its knee or something?
He mentioned that, right? He's got a fixer or something.
A fixer?
The guy that you said that looked like me.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But what is that doesn't mean they're gonna injure their horse.
No, it's horse races have been fixed before. It's they jack up the horse with chemicals or steroids or something, and it runs a lot faster.
Damn.
That's definitely a thing.
See, I told you, I don't know shit about horse racing.
I mean, I don't know shit about horse races.
You certainly want to go.
But I think they did it in The Simpsons or something, or one
Simpsons
TV
Simpsons
show.
did it. So.
Simpsons did it.
You got any final thoughts there, Malcolm?
Malcolm. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's you.
Well, I was just I don't know. I was wondering if you're going to go to Adam.
I got next.
I think, it's the movie has plays with this theme of Uncle Buck kind of redeeming himself in the eyes of his family and reconnecting with his nieces and nephew. But it just I don't see it necessarily happen in the movie. There's scenes where he has this revelation and he makes up with Tia, but it doesn't, to me it didn't necessarily feel earned because the movie spent so much time with him being funny, which is to be fair, yeah, okay.
I mean, that's kind of the point,
Yeah, no, 100%, right? But then they these moments just to me didn't necessarily feel earned. He just has this especially at the end too, when the mom just comes back. It's what was she having her own movie off in fucking Indianapolis where she realizes she's an absent mother and she needs to be better, and she just shows up
I mean, your dad almost dying, I guess, could do that to you.
I know, but we don't see her go through any of that. She just comes back and is just and even Tia too. Tia's just it's just this moment where it's hey, Mom, I know you've been gone the entire movie, but the movie has to end now and we have to make up, so I forgive you.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
It was for me, it was just
how do you even know that the grandfather died?
Well, we don't know that the grandfather died.
You didn't see nothing.
No, we don't know. I mean, that's true. I said that he died. He doesn't die. But having a heart attack, I meant.
How do you even know he had a heart attack? You don't know.
Yeah, I get it. There's some
Could be lying. Another business excursion with the damn parents.
Something I noticed watching it tonight, and this is probably I don't know, the 15th time I've watched this movie. I really picked up on how much there's almost Looney Tune humor in it sometimes.
For sure.
You hear the sound of the music in this movie. It's
but some of the sound effects too, when he gets hit, it's just it just reminds me of old Looney Tunes, you know what I mean?
The fact that he made pancakes that big.
Yeah.
You just see the toast. I could barely get it through the door.
I mean, that was really cool. That's where those are moments where I'm saying he has heart. He knows that
No, well that goes in the theme with the movie of just he's just this kid, so obviously he's going to know how to be great with the little kids, right? Because he's one of them, right?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't win them over at first with the eggs and fucking green peppers and onions and stuff. He put onions in the eggs. I guess you should know better than that if he's a kid.
That sounds delicious.
I know, yeah, but when you're a kid, not so.
You need to be a kid to put onions in your eggs?
No way.
No, sorry. I know what you're saying. Never mind. You're right.
But one scene I thought was really cool is when he arrives at the house and the parents leave and he plays the piano. It's he plays these two nefarious notes, and I just thought that was really kind of cool of hinting how bad is this gonna get?
Right.
And then he immediately breaks a plate and
it falls off.
Funniest way. Too.
Yeah, yeah, that was
unbreakable. And where would you get a plate like that? England. Oh,
England.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, well, that's so funny.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about our favorite scenes.
Ooh, breaks are cool.
Today's favorite scenes are brought to you by Cupcakes. Order online at kupkates.ca.
Oh, that's for sure. Unbreakable.
So yeah, this is my favorite scene, just because of what I was saying like earlier. Is he plays like the nefarious notes on the piano when the movie is kind of just like, ooh, how bad is it gonna get? Uncle Buck's here now. Yeah. It's like, what kind of trouble is he gonna get up to? And then he drops the plate, doesn't break it, so everything's fine. And then he breaks it. Ooh, this is unbreakable.
Right?
So good.
And it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like plays on the fact that like he's not going to intentionally like be bad.
Yeah.
He's kind of just like this big kid who doesn't necessarily know how to act properly, and that is what he's going to learn in this movie.
The movie's like, do you like this kind of humor? There's gonna be a whole bunch of it. Yeah. You thought that was funny? Oh.
Just wait.
I mean, all kinds of shit making you laugh in this movie.
I like even like before that scene when he first gets there and he goes to like the
neighbors.
No. He goes to the wife like, "Hey, I quit smoking."
Yeah,
right. I'm on the cigars now.
Yeah.
So I do that for 5 years, and then I go to chewing tobacco, and it's just like this.
Saying the worst thing so confidently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like confidence and nonsense. It's dangerous.
What's your favorite scene, Adam?
I like when John Candy's like, well, like Malcolm says, he's very not really cartoonish, but he's like kind of a little crazy in this, and I like that. Also, I think I'm not saying Bug is a good character; he's a terrible character. But he personally just makes me laugh so much, and I just like love it whenever he gets threatened, and it's just like
he's kind of animated himself.
Yeah, whenever he's scared, he's like so cartoony with his face, but it's just like, we get some ice cream. Your friend Bug can come. We can bury the hatchet. You know what a hatchet is, Bug? And then it's just boom. So
it's like an axe? Kinda? Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. And then it just like goes on for like so long. Like, I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but
well, I'll roll it.
Who said anything about that? I just thought you'd like to join us for some ice cream. Maybe your Bug here can join us. We can talk about burying the hatchet. You know what a hatchet is, don't you, Bug?
It's an axe?
Sort of, yeah. I got one in the car if you'd like to see it.
I'll pass.
Fair enough. I like to carry it, you know. You never know when you're gonna need it. A situation may come up, say, for example, someone's been drinking and about to drive a loved one home. Then I like to know I have it.
But then, like, literally, he goes all the way back to the car, and he's just like, yep, here it is. Just, like, shows it, and it's just like, and that's not even, that's what he does before. Like, imagine if, like, in the end, friggin' Tia was actually in that bed with that drill he had. Like, so that's actually a scary scene, too.
He would have used that hatchet.
Yeah. A close second is also when Macaulay Culkin is just, like, talking to his mom. He's like, oh, I'm earning my keep.
Oh, my God.
The butts of my hump.
Doing the dishes and shit.
Got me working.
Yeah. I love how he calls him UB.
She bailed, UB.
Oh
yeah, sorry. Nobody ever asks you. Ever.
Nope,
you just
I'm always
said that.
forgotten.
You just said that at the beginning. Travis, what is your favorite scene in this movie?
I love like when the clown shows up for Miles's party.
Oh, the greatest. I think I have a fact on that boy too.
Oh yeah. Does it have to do with this? Does it have to do with Goodfellas?
I guess we'll wait and see.
You know what? It might. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Anyways, yeah, no, I just love that scene just because, again, that just shows like the brighter side of Uncle Buck. Like, yeah, he is a kid at heart, but
hey, don't mess with him.
I love when he says, like, well, I wouldn't be, drinking if I knew I was going to be entertaining some kids. Like, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, no, I just love the scene. I'll play it.
I'll have to take any shit from you. You know I am? In the field of local live home entertainment. Oh my God!
Get in your mouse and get out of here.
Hey, you, let me tell you something, you low-life, lying, four-flushing sack of shit.
But even this scene, like, going back to, like, what I was talking about with the Looney Tunes shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when it goes, like, it's just, like, that totally reminds me
his nose
of a Looney. Yeah, of a Looney. And his fucking nose is bent, too, right?
It's, like, classic, like, bent 100%. Beak bent backwards, like, Daffy Duck shit.
Right? And just, like, even the way, like, he hits him, you hear the born, sound, like, and he just, like, disappears. Like,
just comes back up.
Right?
For like, another one, too. Even.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so fucking Looney Tune-esque, and I love it. But, again, it's also just, like, I mean, the lines are pretty funny, too, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need any dildo jokes? I'm your guy! It's just, like...
It's so aggressive for, like what time is it? Probably,
right?
like,
it's like
1
o'clock
PM.
in the morning, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Shows him a damn mouse car.
I mean, if you're a clown for a living...
Yeah, I mean, but he's like apparently he's like the best one, and like,
Hey, I'm sure that's what he has to tell himself.
In local live entertainment, I'm a god.
I'm a god. Well, you never touch the stuff.
What, you Mother Capri? You never touch the stuff? But yeah, so I heard you got some facts for us. What's up?
Yeah, I do. Maybe I want to transfer power because I don't mean to not bring laptops. I just like to be free. But then I realized that the thing that I do keep my facts on also records me from time to time.
Gotcha.
So we're going to get a teleprompter or maybe somebody holding signs over there, something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Hey, we're hiring producers, so hit us up.
Yeah, we're paying starting at $0 an hour.
Soundscapesessions@gmail.com.
Hey, do you guys like fulfillment work that doesn't pay? Anyways, so
that's
Uncle
why I
Buck
said
facts.
internship.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what they call it, man.
Oh, is that the nice way of saying?
It's the fancy way of saying, like,
we don't want to
pay
you. You get paid in experience.
Experience and exposure.
Experience and exposure does not transfer over to your bank account. So Uncle Buck, I did these facts a few days ago, and I was quite intrigued. Not a lot, but to start off, the movie was originally going to be shot in St. Louis. I think you mentioned that. However, the winter of 1988 was unseasonably warm in St. Louis, so eventually leading the film to be shot in John Hughes' traditional Chicago. It's a winter movie. It literally says in my notes, it's a winter movie. Yeah. Almost every set was built in a local high school gymnasium, including the 2-story Russell House, which is pretty fucking cool.
Nice. They did that for friggin' what's it called? too?
Yeah. John Hughes he's got a lot of pull in Chicago.
Absolutely.
Find me a gymnasium and build me a movie. So Winona Ryder was the first choice for Tia, I would assume.
Okay.
However, she turned it down to shoot Heathers. So they got Louisa Kelly. Ali Sheedy was also considered, and I would have loved that. Yeah. We all know how much I love Ali Sheedy. I'm used to doing this on my phone. So despite their characters not getting along in the film, both John Candy and Louisa Kelly actually got along very, very well.
Obviously.
With Louisa Kelly saying it was an honor to work with someone she considered a legend.
Oh, nice.
Also, Laurie Metcalf, who plays the lonely neighbor, Jackie or Mercy?
Isn't it Maurice or Marcy?
No, I was saying Jackie from Roseanne.
Jackie from Roseanne, yeah. She recalls John Candy helping her relax in between scenes because she was apparently really, really nervous and had nothing but high praise for our Canadian friend.
I like it.
This is the highest grossing film outside of Home Alone to feature Macaulay Culkin. Cute little fact. John Goodman was considered for Uncle Buck, but he would later go on to do the Flintstones, ironically a role which John Candy was also being considered for since it was his favorite cartoon. Sadly,
no way.
Premature death in 1994 prevented this from happening.
Okay, good fact.
Also, Rick Moranis and Steve Martin were considered to play Bob Russell, the father.
Oh, I could totally see Rick Moranis playing that. It's just like
it's such a tiny role, though.
But I was gonna say, what a way to waste Rick Moranis, though, because he's so fucking talented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not The Sopranos, but the guy who plays the drunk clown is also the hitman guy in Dumb and Dumber.
Yes, he is.
The guy who's like
mental.
I've never seen that movie. But that's okay. And while we're on the subject, this is a fucking big list, actually. There's actually a lot of people. So while we're on the subject, Jim Carrey, Tim Allen, John Travolta, Bill Murray, Danny DeVito. These are big names. Tom Cruise, friend of the show, Tom Hanks, Dan Aykroyd, Joe Pesci, and Ed O'Neill were all considered for the lead role of Uncle Buck, with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, who couldn't because they were filming Batman. And legend of the show, Robin Williams, who couldn't because he was filming Dead Poets Society.
Oh, okay.
My Captain.
Which is a dope movie, by the way.
There's a lot of fucking big names, man. Also, this is one of the 3 movies that star both John Candy and Macaulay Culkin, the other 2 being Home Alone, where they had no screen time together, and Only the Lonely, where Culkin had a small role cameo. Oh. It's called Only the Lonely. I should have put quotations on there, but I didn't. And my favorite fact that I like to say for the end, once during filming, John Candy went out to a bar with music supervisor Tarquin Gotch, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, spent most of the night meeting people. John Hughes did not know about this. He found out the next day because he heard a caller on a talk radio show excitedly describe his evening with John Candy. So needless to say, Hughes was upset. So when he went up to our boy and confronted him, John Candy said his character was supposed to look disheveled. Clever boy. And even though John Hughes canceled all of his scenes and sent him home to get some sleep, I like to think that John Hughes was just like, you clever fuck.
That's awesome.
But I'm not gonna fire you because you're John Candy.
Yeah, because no, they were boys too.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I would try and get out of it like that too. Yeah. It's like, well, it's my character's supposed to be, my character's supposed to have ice cream every 2 seconds. Somebody hire me for that role. I'll do that so much. Anyway, that's my fun fact corner, people. I'm working on a sign off.
Right.
But I do have an intro, so that's all that really matters.
Well, if you're listening and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify and you're not following, please give us a follow. Check out Adam on TikTok, Instagram, all the fun stuff. He's doing lots of fun.
Well, lately it's just been a lot of clips.
Just a lot of clips.
But we're gonna trying to switch it up. We got the new set going on here for the Monday show.
Absolutely.
Got a few new planned things in the future, upgrades and stuff.
Another reminder that we do Free Talk Fridays on Friday, obviously. It would be a little bit weird.
That's me.
And so you guys keep your eyes out for all cool things to come. And we love you. Keep listening. Reach out. Leave comments. Yeah. We will definitely answer them.
The comments have been pretty good lately.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Later.